So for the past 10 months or so, I've been writing a text editor for the Mac. It's called Watt. It is definitely not production ready. Please do not use it for anything that is important. It will crash. And in this video, I just want to show you a little bit about how it works, or talk about how it works, and show you some of its features. So here it is. Um, First thing you can do, you can type, you can delete, you can select, you can copy and paste and cut. And because it is integrated with the rest of the macOS document system, you can do things like reverting. Um, so we'll revert here to the last open, and it goes back to what it was before. It also supports sort of the various system input method editors. So we can do mark text. So here I'll hold Control E. Oh, did that twice. Control E to get a accent, and then when I press A, for instance, it will replace that empty accent with the A character. There are other ways to do this, so I can hold down A until I bring up this little picker menu. We can insert an emoji. Um, and you won't see what I'm doing here, but I'm switching my input method to Japanese, to specifically to the Romaji input method, and I can type in Japanese. And there you go. I believe that says hello. So that is sort of the basics of Watt. We'll revert this document again, and I'll switch my keyboard back to English, which again you can't see. Um, there are the rest of it is it scrolls. It renders pretty fast. My goal is to create a high performance text editor of sorts. Um, it's pretty good so far. There are definitely things that could be better. Um, the the sort of interesting things about it, and I'll probably talk more about this in future videos, but the text storage, so the way the text is stored is custom. It is uh, based on the work that Rafe Levine did on Xi Editor in around 2016, which is to say the text is stored in a rope. A rope is just a string stored in a tree. And in this case, it's stored in something that looks a lot like a bee tree. Um, so uh, balanced by construction, so fully balanced, and also having a very high branching factor. This gives you some good, relatively low latency editing characteristics. So it's O log n for basically all operations. And then it also uses a custom text view, and it's viewport based, which means we only draw what's in the viewport. Oh, was that just a? Do I have some? No, it looks like we're okay. Okay, I thought I had some scroll correction issues. Honestly, I still might have scroll correction issues. I'm not sure. Scroll correction is a can of worms, and perhaps I will talk about that in a future video too. But we only draw what's in the viewport, which means you have to do some fun document height estimation, which perhaps I'll also talk about in a future video. And each of these, each line, so really each paragraph, each I don't know what you call it, physical line, something separated by new line characters, is drawn into a separate core animation layer, which means a separate texture on the GPU. And that means as you scroll, we don't have to redraw paragraphs that are already drawn. All we have to do is tell the compositor to basically offset the origin of the paragraph by a little bit. And that, in fact, is not even something we have to do directly. That kind of is handled by the system scroll view. Um, the other interesting stuff that Watt can do, it also has the ability to open basically a workspace or a project, so to open a folder. And so what we can do here is we will open the Watt project itself, and here you go. It has a sidebar, and in the sidebar you can open files. Watt has very rudimentary syntax highlighting. It uses tree sitter. Right now it only highlights C. I think I have a C header somewhere in here. Here we go. So you can see the highlighting is actually not very good because this is an objective C header, but it's the only thing that will trigger highlighting right now, and I don't believe I have any other C code in here. The sidebar supports the things you would expect. So We can rename files. We can, you know, rename them back. We can drag them into other locations. Oh, didn't mean to put it in the asset catalog, but you can. Um, and it also responds to changes in file contents or file, let's see, or you know what, we'll actually do this in the Finder. So it changes to in response to things changed outside as well. So for instance, where is this acknowledgements file? You know what? No. Why is it not showing up? What in the world? What files are showing up? Oh, you know what? I know what's going on. I am in an inner directory. So let's try that again. We want to open the what that is in the developer folder. And now we have the acknowledgements file. So um, we can, for instance, rename acknowledgements from out here, and it picks up the name immediately. Rename it back. We can also do drag and drop. So let's say we, I don't know, we will open /temp. And let's even change, because this will be fun, we can change to a list of icons. And in fact, let's use what to make a new file in /temp. So hello world, and we will put that in /temp, and we will call it hello.txt. And then we'll make another one, goodbye world. We'll save that in /temp and call it goodbye.txt. Now we close these because we don't really need them. But you can drag and drop. And the reason I put this in icon mode over here is you'll notice that as you drag them, oh, did it not work? Is this broken? Well, what was supposed to happen was that these would flock together and change so that they looked that they were, well, I guess they did flock together, but they ought to reorganize themselves so that the icon is small and the file name is to the right, basically something that looks like something that looks like it belongs in this list. And it didn't seem to do that, which is very interesting. You will note they did reorganize so that they're on top of each other, but that's not the full what's fully supposed to happen. Oh, whoops. I do not know why that was. I could have sworn that worked, and it does not seem to want to. Anyway, you can drag and drop in. We can, by default, it's a copy in. We should be able to delete. Yes, we can delete that file. Can I do a move in here? Yes, I can. You hold down Command, you do a move in. We can copy out. Can't move out. This system is a little complicated. In order, the two apps are coordinating in order to decide what they can do or what they can't. And it looks like I had a crash. Well, this is why you should not use this in production. We will run it again and play around a little more. Here we are. Well, hopefully this works. Okay, cool. So we can we'll copy it out, and then we can crash again. Oh, boy. This is what happens when you try to do a demo. Anyway, let's delete this. That's more or less it. I was pretty pleased. The implementation of this, which perhaps I will go over at some point, has a declarative data source for the NS outline view. It looks a lot like the NS table view diffable data source, if you're familiar with that. And it also has a declarative drag and drop. And with the exception of what the things that just went wrong and the crashes and the fact that when I'm dragging these files don't seem to change their shape and look like the items in this file tree here. Everything works in the way I'd like it, and it's pretty good. I guess the last thing that I can show you is that the editor body here also responds to changes in the um, in the contents of the file. So we can call this the Dave license, and it updates right there, and go back to the MIT license, and then we're done. You'll also notice, and this is true if you look at TextEdit, uh, I guess, if I type something and then undo, it goes back to not edited, the dirty state. And uh, Watt will do that too. Oh, it has undo. Doesn't have undo grouping, which is pretty useful, right? You don't really want to do every single character undoing one by one, but we'll get there. But the point in this case is just to sort of show another bit of integration with the macOS document system, which is to say, when we undo fully, it knows the file is no longer dirty, and that edited thing goes away. Don't have splits or tabs. That would obviously be very nice, and perhaps someday I will get to it. One thing that I am pretty pleased with is you'll notice that when we close a file, that it goes back to showing the like the quote unquote open file is the project that's open, and then when you click a file, it opens that file. What I would really like, and haven't had time to do yet, is to show when you're looking at a file um, in a project, to show both the project folder and then say a hyphen, and then the file, including all of this, the sort of system stuff that allows you to move and duplicate the file from there. And you'll also notice that we only show in the recents menu. We don't show all of the files you've opened inside a project as in the recents menu. We only show that you've opened the project in the recents menu. And of course, because I've opened both the outer Watt folder and the inner Watt folder, it's showing this dash. This is all just system behavior, but we can clear this, and perhaps, I guess you'd have to reopen to see. Anyway, this is going a little bit into the weeds, but this is what this is a little text editor, and it's been enjoyable and interesting to make. And I hope you enjoy the video, and perhaps I will have some more videos for explaining some of the internals and the other sort of interesting challenges you run into when you build a text editor quasi from scratch. And that's it.